Good morning, cheeky fam. Today we are discussing the price action of XRP, sharing my thoughts and opinions on where I think things are heading. So here we have XRP paired up with USDT. We're on the 1-day Binance chart, and you can see here that we have the yellow line, the blue line, the white line coming through here, currently finding a bit of resistance on the 50 simple moving average, 50 exponential moving averages. That's the yellow and blue lines that you see here on the charts. You can see that our white line is our 200-day exponential moving average, is resistance for XRP. We covered this in the previous video. Not a lot has really changed from where we were in terms of that previously. So let's go ahead and reflect on this most recent move to the upside. The crypto market had a bit of a bump to the upside yesterday, and it does look like we still have a bit of more progression to the upside, but let's go ahead and do the sense checks just to see where things could potentially lie. Yeah, so we are actually potentially looking for a bit more room to the upside here. And you can see the target range really is going to be right in here between the 1 and the 1.236 fib scales, and it falls right in line with resistance on the 200-day exponential moving average. So for XRP, my expectations are, although minimum movements or minimum expectations to the upside have already been met and we're finding resistance, there's still this potential move towards 55 to 56 cent, right in line with the 200-day exponential moving average, which is currently 56 cent flat. Okay, so looking at this, it would be a three-wave movement, okay, coming in here, looking to kind of push up, finish that structure off. This is a part of a much bigger move to the downside, and I think we can look at this as actually a much bigger play. We are going to be coming down just a fraction further here. I don't think we have any major concerns at this point on the kind of daily time frame, but we'll see whether anything sinister kind of does form from here. At the moment, we do have lower highs coming in here, and we do have higher lows. Okay, so we're finding ourselves getting wedged in a fair amount. Let me show you what that looks like by drawing in a couple of trend lines just in here, right? We can see that we have this idea of a potential rising wedge. This is a bearish pattern, so we want to be aware that these have a tendency to want to break on down rather than break on up. And so although there's still some potential bullish movements to the upside on XRP via the daily time frame, we should be aware that on a macro scale, we are still looking for retracements to the downside. We are approaching the overbought area on the stochastic RSI on the daily time frame, but we are not there yet. This is an indication that we still have some more upward movements towards that 55-56 cent range. So all in all, that's still looking actually really nice, considering we're 53 cent at the moment, and just a day or so ago we were down at 50 cents. So we're seeing a reasonable push to the upside. Most recently, in the last kind of 24 hours or so, we've seen around 6% move to the upside, a little bit more than that. On here, if we come in and remove the stochastics, bring on the relative strength index, we are above the 50 mid level here on the RSI, the being a yellow line. There's no divergences being indicated, no bullish divergence, no bearish divergence, no hidden bullish, hidden bearish, none of that is showing up on our daily time frame. So all of that's actually looking pretty good. From a volume point of view, though, we can see the obvious concerns. Volumes decreasing as prices pushed up here. This is a bit of a divergence from where we can see price action heading and volume heading. Okay, this kind of divergence shows us that there's a weakness in this move to the upside. That's what the stochastic RSI is picking up on this daily time frame by being so close to this overbought range. Okay, so knowing that the stochastic RSIs are basically just saying that there isn't really a lot of momentum pushing us higher here for XRP, a reversal is likely. Elliott wave theory shows us with the 55 to 56 cent range being the area that we are going to be looking for resistance. Your traditional ways of analyzing the market, your EMAs, your SMAs, are also saying that this is likely to be resistance. So therefore, this is where our short opportunity lies. Basically, looking to short the market, stop loss tighter than tight, just above the 200-day exponential moving average, and we will be looking to come down probably to the previous area of support at around 50 cent. Gives you a great area for risk-reward ratio at 3.83 approximately. If we had a stop loss somewhere around 57.5 and so forth. So that's going to be the shorting opportunity. Long opportunities, I think, are probably high risk, but if we do find ourselves with a breakout, a closed position above the 200-day exponential, that is where you go long, and we put the stop loss lower than the 50 exponential and 50 simple moving averages, and we'll target out the previous area of resistance at around 66 cent. Gives you a great area for a long on a 2.47, but I do think that's higher risk than a short right now, so I personally wouldn't be looking to go long on XRP at the moment. moment. There is a much bigger trend line to the downside here that we need to be very aware of, and we are kind of teetering on the edge of a potential breakout with it. So be aware that that is an idea, that if we do kind of see here a breakout of a trend line to the downside, we will still be looking for that 200-day exponential moving average close position to kind of confirm any potential breakout situation. Throw on smart money concepts. You can see right up here, equilibrium is right just above the 200-day exponential moving average, and that's also an area of resistance for XRP's price action. It is in a bearish structure at the moment, as indicated in the previous videos. So we have lost the bullish pattern that we were in, and we've gone into a bearish one. That has not broken. We still remain in that structure at the moment. So we have to consider that all of this here is still, unfortunately, in its corrective state. Outside of that, there's a couple of fair value gaps down here that might get filled out. We've got a weak low indicating that we are likely to go down lower than that. We've got a strong high. So from a smart money concepts point of view, unfortunately, yeah, it looks like it lines up quite nicely with Elliott wave theory, indicating, unfortunately, a bit more slippage to the downside before we get into that next run to the upside. So actually, you know, everything here is actually looking okay. I'm not terribly too concerned over what I'm seeing in the daily time frame. The daily time frame in itself is actually showing us with some pretty decent progression so far. Let's roll this up into a weekly and see what's going on from here, right? We are still, of course, targeting out this potential three-wave move a little bit deeper in the price action. Again, this is something that we might see on a much larger scale, something that's going to take some time. Obviously, this could go all the way to 33 cents. I don't think that's going to be the case, but it is something that we need to kind of say and speak about. There's a potential. Ultimately, our minimum expectation is actually 46.16, and that is an interesting area right in here, which has overlap between my three different targets, three different ways of looking at the market. Really between 41 and 42.53 seems to be a really good strong area of support. So if we are to come down here, this is the area that I'm probably going to be looking for support to be found upon. Okay, we are still above the 200-week exponential moving average, and resistance is still the 50-week exponential moving average. As you can kind of see in here, white line is the support, blue line is your resistance, along with the 50 simple moving average, yellow line. So we are still wedged right inside this area, right? We've got support, but we've also got resistance. Will the bears or the bulls win this one? That's the question, right? Who is going to be on the right side of the argument here? At the moment, the bears did close one candle lower than the 200-day exponential moving average recently, but the bulls pulled it right the way back, and we are finding resistance, and that's where we are right now. I expect a wick up towards the area that I was talking about, 55 to 56 cents, which is going to be just above the 50-week exponential moving average, but just below the 50 simple moving average. All in all, I still expect us to move down a little ways here for XRP before we start to see that bigger progression back to the upside. I'm very confident in where things are heading. Obviously, my conservative targets split opinions, but $5.59 to $11.26 is still the target range. That hasn't changed. I'm looking at this as either a big three-wave movement or looking for a breakout situation where we do find ourselves with a big kind of wave 3 coming up here, 4 and then 5, and we will push a little bit further in terms of price if that is the case. Alternatively, we look at this as just a simple corrective pattern taking us up towards the $5 range. Okay, so on a macro scale, actually everything hasn't been too bad. It's still looking pretty decent. We're still seeing great progression in the right direction, in my opinion. So all in all, I'm not terribly too concerned. Guys, if you have found today's video useful, smash that like button. I appreciate that. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. And if you haven't done so already, check this video out where we're discussing what's going on with some altcoins that I think you need to know about.